As sea levels continue to rise, the places we all love at the coast may start to look a little different. Meteorologist KJ Jacobs explains how the combination of rising tides and flooding could dramatically change our coastline.
Twice per day at the coast, we have a high tide and a low tide, but the high tides are outweighing the low tides due to an uptick in coastal flooding. Coastal Carolina communities are experiencing a weather phenomenon called high tide flooding. This occurs on sunny days without a storm in sight because of sea level rise.
High tide flooding, which would cause problem in the streets, disappearing shoreline during these extra high tides, those were quite rare just 20 years ago.
NOAA's oceanographer Dr. William Sweet says high tide flooding days are increasing.
And just last year, there were 6 of those days recorded. Next year, somewhere between 5 and 8 of those days are expected.
Sweet says with another foot of sea level rise driven by climate change, high tide flooding days could reach 100 days annually by the year 2050.
Emissions really matter. Higher emissions equals more heating, more thermal expansion of the ocean, more melting of mountain glaciers in Antarctica and Greenland, higher seas, more flooding.
Since our coastline is home to both commerce and tourism, a rising sea environment could change the landscape, resulting in billions of dollars of lost home value.
With that comes a loss of beach. Typically, in a natural environment, the beach would move inland, things would sort of readjust, the sand, the dunes, but we have stuff there. We've built cities, houses, things along the coast that's just going to interfere with the inland encroachment, let's say, of the sea.
Sweet says the first step is to plan and prepare to help protect our coastal communities most vulnerable to high tide floods. Typically, the Carolina coast sees the most flooding during the fall due to an extra foot of sea level rise that occurs naturally. It normally goes back down in the winter. However, Sweet says the trend could continue for other seasons in the future. I'm meteorologist KJ Jacobs, WCSC Charlotte.
Very interesting.
Yeah, like Charleston floods. It's one city is Miami, Florida.
Oh, yeah.
King tides there every single day. They're dealing with that. So as you saw from the report, it's not going to get better, probably.
No.
But